friends! I hope you're all doing well and having a good start to 2022. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, but it's also going to be a lot of fun. Back in November of last year, I got inspired by a really cool themed trend on YouTube started by Gunne Shenanigans, and it was called Gunne Saxoween, where a bunch of costume making YouTubers basically made Gunne Sax dresses with a Halloween twist. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are asking yourselves, much like I was when I first heard about this trend, is what the fuck is a Gunne Sax? Well, after just a little bit of basic research on the Google, I found out that Gunne Sax was a clothing label brand in the late 1960s, and these dresses were designed with like prairie, Victorian, Edwardian kind of aesthetic, so basically what we call cottagecore today. The name Gunne Sax actually comes from the word gunny sack, which is basically just a cheaply made burlap sack that was used to carry potatoes and grains and other shit. They actually used these burlap sacks as trim for some of their earlier dresses, and that's how they came up with the name Gunne Sax for their brand. Now, I am obviously way too late to jump on the Gunne Saxoween trend, especially because I didn't discover it until November, which was actually thanks to my friend Casey Renee's video. That's how I discovered this trend and everything. Definitely go follow her. She's amazing, amazing seamstress. Go give her a lot of love right now. And when I ended up messaging her about how much I loved that video, she told me that there were plans for a Gunne Saxmas, and I ended up also messaging Gwen on Instagram, and yeah, they did a Gunne Saxmas theme as well. I actually started on my own like winter Christmassy style Gunne Sax dress like back in November after I saw Casey's video and everything, because I was really hyped about it. However, the move happened and then the holidays happened and just time slipped away from me. So even though it is well past Christmas time, who cares? I'm going to show you guys my own Gunne Saxmas dress creation, and I guess it's more of a winter-esque thing, but either way, let me show you how I made it. Due to the impending move, money was really tight, so I made the decision to thrift all of my fabrics for this project. I honestly really lucked out, and I found curtains, tablecloths, and sheets in different fabric types and shades of red that all went really well together. I only spent $15 on all of this. I don't remember exactly what patterns I used, but I just Frankensteined some together. This is the Gunne Sax dress I was most inspired by and wanted to model my own design after. The main fabric I decided to use for my dress was this red tablecloth with leaves. It's such a beautiful color and it looks so elegant. Once all the pieces were cut out, I pinned them together and hand gathered the skirt. For the sleeves, I used this sheer curtain fabric, which was really hard to cut because it was so freaking slippery. I also got this thicker curtain with a subtle metallic finish to use for the waistband, but I had to cut out the lining before I could use it. With everything pinned together, I could now get an idea of how my dress was coming along. Since all of my fabrics were thrifted, I had to really get creative using what I had, since there was no way for me to get more. At this point, I wasn't really happy with the skirt, but I didn't have much more of the leaf pattern tablecloth to make it fuller. So I attempted using the red metallic curtain fabric to add more volume, which in hindsight was a mistake. It looked like crap. Later on, I do correct this mistake, but for now, I just went ahead and moved on to the next tier of the skirt. I used the same sheer fabric I used for the sleeves, and I used a Sharpie to mark the width that I wanted because, like I said, it's slippery and all over the place. Then I serged the edges to prevent fraying. To gather up this tier of fabric, I ended up using my gathering foot from the Madame Sew's presser foot set, which was gifted to me. Thank you so much. There's a link in the description if you want to pick one up for yourself or your sewing friend. I love this gathering foot, also called a shirring foot in some cases, because it allows you to easily gather fabric evenly, and you can control the fullness of the gathers by changing the tension and the stitch length on your machine. I didn't film it, but I eventually replaced the curtain panels on the skirt with more matching tablecloth panels, even though I couldn't match the patterns of the leaves due to how little fabric I had left. Once I was happy with the skirt, I pinned on those sheer ruffles like so. Added 2 rows of gathering stitches to the top of the skirt. 2 rows allows for much more control than just a single row, and gathered it down to fit my waist measurement. At this point of filming, we just moved into the new house, so the rest of this project is filmed in my new workroom. But here's how she was looking so far. I cut out all of my lining pieces for the top and sewed that up, but didn't film it because I was enjoying the fake fireplace heater my dad let me borrow and was drinking hard cider on this night in my new-to-me home. I should honestly call this whole project Crimson Chaos. The next day, I tried on the top to make sure that it was going to fit around my boobies right, and luckily it did. I made a quick mock-up pattern of the sleeve cuffs, and I had a bit of trouble settling on exactly how I wanted this done. The dress I was referencing had zippers at the cuffs to make them easy to take on and off, but I didn't have any in the right color. So I was going to use buttons and loops, but then I thought about how much time that would take. And I was tired from the move, and I just really wanted to get this project done, so I had something new for my patrons for December. So I just ended up sewing them like this. And yes, it's very difficult to put on. Trying to get your fist through the little spot for your wrist is very fitted and just should have done buttons or a zipper, but next time I'll know. Moving on, I French seamed the sleeve seams, serged the top and bottom edges of the sleeves, and then gathered the ends of the sleeves to fit into my cuffs. I honestly don't feel like explaining this process, so just enjoy the visuals. Next, I attached the collar so that it was encased like so. I love how nicely it lays on my dress form, but it doesn't fit as nicely on me and it's a bit loose. Now it was time to attach the sleeves. I gathered them at the top so that it would fit into the armhole of the bodice. I also decided to just sew up the middle instead of making functioning buttons like I had planned because I was tired and again I wanted to get this thing done. I also hemmed the cuffs and now the top was beautifully constructed and I could move on to adding the waistband. I did end up taking the waistband in at the sides later on for a better fit. Then I attached the skirt and sewed. Zipper time was next. Then I tried it on and didn't like how short it was. So at this point, I was truly regretting cutting out those skirt panels from the curtain fabric because I wanted to use this fabric as the last tier of the skirt, and now it's in pieces. And it would have been so easy to just cut out big strips, sew them together and gather, but no, I had all these scraps to work with. But work with them I did. Serged, hemmed, gathered all 200+ inches I managed to salvage from the scraps and attached them to the skirt. It was exactly what the dress needed to reach the length that I wanted. Last thing to do are the details. Once again, I'm using the Dritz Craft Cover Button Kit to make matching buttons with my fabric. I've demonstrated how to use this kit in several previous videos and how I use my clapper to help with smashing it into the tool, especially with thicker fabric like this. I always love how they turn out. It's such a neat notion. I also last minute decided to add the iconic script tag with a few tweaks to show that I made this dress. I hope this isn't blasphemy editing the tag. Sorry if it is, but I really like it. Printable fabric is next level amazing. Then I hand sewed in the tag. I personally love this little extra detail. And now it's reveal time. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much and really hope you enjoyed this project as much as I did. I'm really proud of what I was able to accomplish with $15 worth of thrifted fabrics in the midst of a big move into our first rental home. Big thanks to all of my patrons for believing in me and supporting my work, and an extra shout out to all my patrons in the Fabulous Flower Power tier. We have Arcal, Blackor77, Brad Shelton, Eric Bolaños, Gamer Productions 116, Henrik Matson, Jamie, John Fillers, Mr. Borland, and our other lovelies. Thank you guys so much. If you are interested in supporting my work and getting extra goodies via Patreon, you can check out the membership tiers here. And if you'd like to support me in ways that don't cost you a single penny, you can interact with my social posts. You can tune into my Twitch live streams. I tend to be on weekly at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And you can also just watch my videos here on YouTube without the ad blocker on. Have a great week, you guys. I hope you get to make something really cool or get to eat something really yummy. Bye!